Okay, so this is my advice on a possible way to revise AO3. What we have is we have so much AO3 that you need to learn. You often have some supportive or contradictory research that you need to learn as if it's actually AO1. So you've got to remember that content whilst also learning the depth as well. So this is a good way of potentially doing this. Firstly, what I would say is open up your notes. So open up your notes for AO3 and read through your notes. You can use your work packs that we do for you, or you can use the textbook, or this is a really good book, the revision guide, especially because you've got really clear peel paragraphs for this as well. So you get that out and you have it to the side. You have a little read through them. What our example today is going to be the types and explanations of conformity, and we're just looking at the AO3 for that. So what I would do is I would write a summarised peel for each of the things on your cue cards. You could do them just on notes anywhere, or you could do it on your computer if you'd rather. You don't have to do it on flashcards, but some people find flashcards quite good because it restricts how much you can write. Once you've done it, we'll highlight a keyword. Then you make a mnemonic out of the first letter of each of the keywords for it, and then you need to test yourself on those keywords in further detail. So you could do this either by actually speaking out loud, is a really good way to do that, or you could use a whiteboard and pen, or you could write other notes on another piece of paper. And then at a later stage, I'd come back to these cards, have a look at your mnemonic that's going to help you for the cues, and then actually try and write the whole peel section just from memory, either one full peel paragraph or all of them for kind of the second part of the essay, the 10 marks of the essay. And this bit will actually help you to know that this is working and that you can actually remember it and you can practice it. If you don't do this bit, then you might struggle. You'll learn all of this stuff, but you haven't actually practiced bringing it back out, and that is the key thing for the exam. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to have our cue card, and we're going to do a summarised point. So, what you want to start to do is have your own symbols or your own methods of doing it. I often cut out words that are irrelevant. So firstly, a strength of the ISI is that there is research support. So obviously strength, first of all, there's no point in writing research support because as long as you've got a name, you know then that it's supportive research. So Lucas et al. Lucas et al. Asked students to give answers to easy and more difficult maths problems, and he found that there was a lot of conformity when the maths problems got a lot harder. And this was obviously more true as they got harder and as the students' maths ability were poor. So this is what our first bit is going to be. So more conformity. So again, I would do something like this: increased conformity in students with maths problems when difficulty increased. Okay, so we've got there the point. We've got our point, we've got our strength, we've got our explanation and our information we need to remember. So elaboration, what does this actually mean for us? So this actually means that people conform in a situation where they don't know the answer, which obviously supports ISI. So again, give yourself a little kind of symbol or whatever for your different bits. For me, this reminds me of kind of elaboration, because you're saying so what type thing. So people conform when they are unsure of answer. Looking to others who we assume to be right, basically. Okay, what does this mean? This means, and I'll put a little star for this, that the informational social influence explanation is actually more positive. It increases its validity or reliability. So we can put ISI again, informational social influence. The idea is that, so the informational social influence explanation is actually made more valid and more reliable because we found it in real life. And that is our quick summary of one Peel point. So what we're going to do now is we would do that for all of the different things that you've got. So I'm going to very quickly go through, flip the card. We've got further research support by Ash. Let's not forget this is a really obvious one because it's our main key one. So Ash, we'll put here NSI support. Participants conformed in an unambiguous situation. We can, if we want to, put 36.8% just as a reminder to us for that key detail. So again, remember what our thing is. We're going to put our little arrow. So what does this actually show us? What is our elaboration on this? Even when the answer was incredibly obvious, participants still conformed because it shows that they didn't want to be self-conscious and they didn't want to have disapproval of the people around them. So for disapproval or were self-conscious. Again, what does this mean? It means that it increases validity and reliability of the theory. Okay. What we then have is you're going to carry that on for the other evaluations, but what we're going to do here is we're going to pick something that is going to help you to remember. Personally, I feel like maths problems is the best way to remember this. We know that we do need to remember Lucas, but our cue word is going to be maths problems. And on this one, again, we know we've got Ash, and the thing is we don't necessarily have a cue word here that's going to help us. We know that Ash supports NSI, so in fact we'll use Ash here because we know that we're definitely going to remember that. So once you've got your four that you're going to be going through, I would then at the top write your first letter of each of your things. You've got M, you've got A. For the other ones we can do, it's up to you which ones you pick, but individual differences with the N affiliators. So an N affiliator might be your cue word. You've also got individual differences from Perrin and Spencer, who said that the engineering students were quite good, so I think engineering students is quite a good one to remember. And there's also Genesis, beans in a jar, which could be a good one. So again, up to you. But then what you have is your four kind of letters to help you with that. And you could make something up with this. So it could be a sentence that has each of these, or it could be a word that you link to the fact that we're doing types and explanations of conformity, and that will help you. And these 4 letters are our cues for our cue words, which will then work for bringing it all back up again. So I'd give that a go, write that down, try and come up with some good ones that help you to remember, and try it for all of them. And then when you get back at the end of, once you've come up with these, what I would do is potentially just get another cue card and simply do your things like this. So Lucas et al. Maths problems, and then you've got Ash NSI support, and you've got Janice ISI support, and you've got individual differences. And that can come depending on which ones you want to do, Perrin and Spencer. So there are a few different ways. You've got these, and then you want to then try and bring them back out and get that depth from them again. You've also then got these that you can test people with, so you can look over this. This is much easier to look through and to understand than a real solid paragraph of PEEL. So have a go at doing something along these lines.